Now, we don't know for sure, at the end of all this, whether it will come back. Nobody knows that yet. When we're going to get a vaccine, we're assuming at least a year. We don't know any of the unanswerables, but surely the logical thing now is total quarantine, isn't it?
I think so. I think so because of the behaviour of the minority, that it is becoming necessary. What people don't understand is the virulence, the power of this virus. What it does, and we're seeing people, our youngest death so far is in an 18-year-old.
Yeah.
We're seeing this in 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds, every age group. It's not just the vulnerable.
50% of all the people taken to ICU currently in New York City are under 50.
It's frightening.
I mean, this is a fact that should get these people off their bikes, out of their cars and back home.
So do you think from this point of view, we're seeing this reaction that people are now thinking, oh, well, because the elderly are staying in, because we know those in a vulnerable situation are being told to stay in, they then think it's OK in some ways to go out and do this?
I just don't think they understand the virulence of this virus and what it might do to them. If I was to... I mean, sometimes we need stark warnings. You know, we put those on cigarette packets, smoking kills. We eventually got round to that. And sometimes we publish photographs of black-looking lungs in people who smoke for a long
Sometimes we ban
time.
smoking from all public places.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And that's the difference.
Yeah.
We no longer ask or warn
we ban it.
or advise.
Yeah.
We ban it.
Now, what people need to know is that this virus, once it gets into your nose, your eyes and your throat, will invade the cells of your body. Not just your lungs, not just your digestive system, but every cell in your body. And people can die of liver failure, from kidney failure, from all sorts of problems by this virus. Once it gets into your cells, it attacks specifically, we think, the mucus-producing glands of the lungs, the hair cells, which make any mucus and debris come upwards so that you swallow it. It causes a pneumonia so that your lungs become congested, full of fluid, and you suffocate. Now, there aren't going to be enough ventilators.
So this is the crucial
People
thing.
are making decisions about what age group to treat now based on your chances of recovery. If you don't get this now, you know, you are running a huge risk. You're putting your family at risk, you're putting your relatives at risk, you're putting the elderly at risk, and the whole population. We're not looking at 20,000 deaths here. The way people are behaving, we're looking at hundreds of thousands. And it has to change. People have to understand what this virus can do.
It's honestly, it is staggering. Few questions. First one, us. Why are we all at work today? Why, given Susanna's self-isolating, are we not all self-isolated?
Well, we feel we have a public health information duty to tell people what's going on, to tell people how to behave, to help people protect themselves and, of course, their loved ones around them. It's about what society can do to minimise the drastic effects of this virus. So we're keeping 2 metres apart. We're being sensible, but we're here to make sure that our viewing public have the information that they need, that is up to date, scientifically validated and accurate.
And in Susanna's case, one of her sons had a slight cough as a precaution. It was the day the government brought in their new regulations. She self-isolated for 2 weeks, but that didn't mean we had to.
No, absolutely. So her son had a cough, a new persistent cough, and it was absolutely right that they went into household self-isolation for the 14 days. We haven't been exposed directly to anyone who's got those symptoms, so we're OK to go to work in this instance. But as many people as possible, if they can work from home, they should now be working from home. People need to understand physical distancing is what will save thousands of lives.
And we have special camera kits which are going to be put into the main presenter homes as we go on, so that if we do end up having to go home, we will. Because the most important thing, the government's identified news programmes like this as part of the essential battle against the virus. Information, hopefully, will help people be better informed.
And I think it's good to get the right information as well, factual information. There's so much misinformation going around on Facebook, on social media. Do not listen to that. Only listen to the official sources that you know and trust.
And, of course, we have
Hilary,
changed...
can I just ask a question?
Sure.
From self-isolation. Once the person who has the symptoms is over the symptoms and nobody else is showing symptoms, what are the rules for continuing to self-isolate?
Well, it's still 14 days because there could be an incubation period. You might be incubating that virus if that virus happens to be COVID-19, and therefore you still all need to stay at home for the 14 days.
And can I ask you something else? Because we've obviously been discussing this issue about all of these people congregating in open spaces, and nobody wants those people to be less than 2 meters apart. But are there mental, physical benefits of enjoying that fresh air, that exercise, facing, as we presume at some stage, more stringent measures on our movement?
We know that if you are out in the fresh air, in the open space, and there's no one around you, there are benefits. Benefits to your mental health, for your exercise, for your general physical health. But also, it's important to realise that ultraviolet light and the temperature in the outside air actually suppresses the virus. So as long as you're physically distancing, it's fine. If you go out cycling on your own, perfect. But we see pictures of people in groups of cyclists,
they're not.
all getting together, having a coffee, looking at their gear, their bicycle pumps, sharing drinks. It's nonsense.
Quick question for you, Hilary. People asking me who work in supermarkets, what about their protection? Right, people going to schools today, teachers who have to go in to teach the kids of those, many of whom are kids of NHS workers who are high-risk exposure. What about the teachers and their protection? A lot of essential people who are not just NHS, but are part of the wider essential task force, they are also at risk, aren't they?
Of course, everybody needs to have this physical distance. So if you're in retail, if you're working at a till in a supermarket, it's really important now that supermarkets limit the number of people coming in so that people can stay 2 metres apart. And the person at the till should be
Why are they not
good
doing
distance.
that?
I really think they should.